What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Big Dad Energy. This is also a podcast, not only a show, which will be on YouTube and Rumble, all the things. Podcast will be anywhere you can get it, but here we are. So today, actually, before I jump into everything, let's do a quick overview of exactly what we're going to talk about on this channel and what you're going to get from us. So I'm only one half. Okay, there's another half of me named Ira. He's going to be in here chopping it up. We're both dads, got a lot of wisdom on both sides, but we are going to also bring in some people too, other dads, fathers, and hopefully get some input from you guys watching at home, work, wherever the heck you're doing. Leave comments or even email us topics you want us to talk about, go over, because the goal of this is to be extremely positive, right? We want this to be not one of those channels where we just badmouth everyone else, rah, 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 men. Like, yes, we're going to have that little bit of rah, rah with us because we need the community. But that said, we're going to focus on the positives and what we need to do bigger, better as man, and what also to watch out for in the world. Just pretty much everything that encompasses being a man and a father, because society is not going exactly how we plan it. And that's why we're here. So we're going to be talking about everything from, relationship stuff a little bit, just not that, we'll see. Relationship stuff, as well as good practices, good things to try to do, try to become, try to grow, things that I have gone through, Ira's gone through, but also countless other men and fathers that we have talked to or just met or submitted things to us about their trials and tribulations. And advice and everything in between, like literally everything when it comes to mental aptitude, when it comes to your health, when it comes to just being a dad, how to get over or how to utilize your emotions, how to deal with, the stress, the anxiety, the struggles, but also how to be more powerful and how to be more stand-up guy and man and dad, and hopefully grow your child to be the best freaking child in the world. And that's what we're here about. So without further ado, what today we are going to talk about is top 10 things of being a dad and kind of a man in all these situations. So it's not just a classic top 10. They're going to do 5 and 5, meaning there's going to be 5 things what to do or look for or prepare for before that little baby pops out. And then another 5 things of what the heck happens after. And holy crap, this is way different than I ever imagined. And here we are. So I got it here on my list so I don't forget. Also, this isn't super scripted. We probably will have some scripted stuff, not ultra planned out and robotic. We wanted to have real conversations, what really comes to mind from the heart. And hopefully you guys share the same thing. So to begin, round 1, top 5 things before you actually pop that little baby out. This isn't in exact order, but kind of like the first 2 I think are the most important, but we'll start with number 5. I put do not over nest. Let's talk about it. So found out you're pregnant. You're like, okay, we got to make some changes, do some things, save some money, make some moves. What are we going to do? The missus over there, no matter who you are, no matter what's going on, something changes, something in them says, we have to nest. I need a mansion. I need like a giant yard. I need this baby thing, that baby thing. We need 3 rooms dedicated to different baby things. The whole world is the baby. Like, it gets nuts. And what you don't want to do is overpromise and underdeliver. And that goes in a multitude of different things. So finances wise, like, first of all, when it comes to the house where you guys are staying or living, you do not need, if it's your first one especially, you do not need a big house yet. You do not need that much space, I promise you. The biggest mistake you can do is say, I want to buy that big house with 4 to 5 bedrooms, whatever you can afford, right? But, you're pushing your limits to make not only her happy, but thinking you need that space. That baby doesn't move or go anywhere for almost a year. It starts crawling, like under a year, but it just crawls in your room, the living room, the kitchen, and like that's it, right? It doesn't, like, God forbid, you have stairs, God forbid, it goes into other rooms. Like, no, you don't need that much space. Now, like, getting older, you can start thinking about that, but right now you can still save or have time to get that big place or that purchase, or more kids coming, then okay, but do not overnest. You don't need every baby trinket on the planet. They're going to go crazy on Amazon, I promise you. Hide the codes, hide the sales, hide everything, hide the phone. You just need the necessities, especially if you have a good family and friends around you. If you don't, then that's one thing, right? But if you have that baby shower, which they're going to plan it, I promise you. If you have that baby shower, you're going to have people getting you things on your registry, getting you things like diapers and all this. Like, I promise a lot will come to you more than you even realize. You do not need the most expensive stroller. You don't need the most new fancy gadget on the market. Babies are not simple, but when it comes to, like, if they're gonna be okay and you could still love and raise your baby, you do not need all the things, okay? They just want you, your love, attention, and food, and just mom, especially for the first year or two. Like, they don't need much. You're gonna save yourself a lot of stress, a lot of financing issues, and everything in between. So next on the list, moving on. So I would say 4 and 3 are kind of the same thing, but they're two different categories. We need to do, the same category, but two different, subjects in the category. So number 4, research what it's going to be like post-baby for your partner. I don't think we talk about this enough. People have no idea what actually comes after the baby, and they're only focused on the baby portion, right? You're not even thinking about you're thinking about yourself, but you're not even thinking about exactly what's going to go on for you, how your mood's going to change, how your life is going to actually, like, every detail of how it's going to change. But also the lady, right? They go through so much changes for them, right? Their mental capacity, their hormones, their body, their time, their energy, and everything it takes to actually form a baby and then push the thing out, or, whatever case, happens in your, whatever you guys are doing. But so much happens and changes, especially within your partner, and you need to talk about it. Talk to people about it. Ask questions. Look up. Google is your best friend. Now, you might see some horror stories, which take that into account, but you're going to also see some positive ones too. You're not trying to find anything specific. You're just trying to understand all the things that could happen so it can better equip you to when things do happen. Post-baby is a whirlwind, and it's way different than you can even fathom, like even remotely grasp. It's different. No matter how you try to cut it, there's going to be a subject, or I'm going to make a video, which Ira might be a part of too, but we're going to make a video on just this alone because there's so much to it. And one of the biggest things is that postpartum depression. You probably heard about it now, but for a while, especially when I had my first kid, no one told me a dang thing about it, and I'll just add a little insight. I had a stranger, which is the baby, in my house. The person I thought I knew was not the person anymore. I thought I lost my best friend, my person, a whole different, but which it wasn't her fault either. Not remotely her fault. She didn't know what was going on either. But it almost feels like you have two strangers in your house, and you're the only one. Like, I don't know how to cope or what this is. And then on top of that, you're either working more or working less. You're stressed about things you weren't stressed out before, and then your time is gone, and you have no time to process, really, all this is going on. So it's better just to equip you beforehand, look into it, everything you can do to get prepared for your partner in this endeavor. And the next one is not the partner, but the baby. Do your baby research, dudes. Like, no, I mean, maybe you'll go to the classes and stuff like that. Just do your research. Read the baby books. One, it'll make her happy. Okay, if she sees you putting in an effort, trying to learn everything you can to be a dad and a baby, and you're reading those books next to her, one, she's going to love you even more. Two, probably going to make her a little excited that you're doing it. And three, it just builds a lot of trust and prepares you in the meantime too. Now, every baby is different, but there's also a lot of generalities. So books are great. Again, Google's a great thing. Hop on YouTube. There's so much information out there. We're going to share a lot of our own experiences and what we had to do too on this channel, but that's not for this video. That's for another one. Right now, we're just diving into some things to look out for. So research the mess about being a dad and the baby. Number two, before thinking about nesting and having kids and a family and all that stuff, you need to make sure this is almost number one, but not quite, because you can still achieve it without the number one piece. But number two, it is just to be financially responsible, financially safe, and sound. So just look at America as a whole. Statistically proven, the more babies you have, the more poor you get. That's just the more people in poverty have more kids on average. So, and this is because they don't plan it out. One, a lot of kids can be a mistake, yes, but they just don't take the time to save that money they need. They overspend on the nesting portion, or they just don't build up that savings. And this is not just a problem with families and having kids. This is a problem as like Americans as a whole. I'm going to speak to just, actually, I lied. Not just Americans, because I talk to a lot of people from other countries, which is where you get a lot of this fun input as well. But for now, in general, men, this is your time, right? Because before the baby is born, that's when you're going to be saving the most money. That's when you're going to have the time to work your ass off to get everything you need for the rest of your freaking life, right? Because the baby is not just to 18. Most of the time it goes past that, and it's your freaking kid. You should love them and be in their life and hopefully help them even in their young adulthood. God knows how much help we probably could have had if our parents were more financially, I guess, responsible is word. Sorry, mom and dad, but just they had more of it, right? More opportunities, better environment, better tools, not just more toys and, you know, all the frou-frou stuff, but better education, just better surroundings, better food, everything in between, and not as stressed. Because here's the thing, no matter what, you are going to be stressed out with this child. No matter what, you're going to be stressed out with your partner. The last thing you need is also financial stress, because that is what pushes divorce. That's what pushes families to break. Well, a lot more than that, but it's a big factor. It pushes families apart. This is what separates you from a great life than just a good or okay life. You're going to have love. You're going to have that. You're going to have everything, but it just makes it a whole lot easier. And let's be honest, if you do have a lot of extra income, then we all, like, it's impossible to not want to spoil a child, I swear. Walk into a store, can't help it, new toy. But it goes beyond just the savings. Now, I recommend, and everyone recommends, at least 6 months, if possible, to a year of savings of your expenses. And here's why: because most likely she's going to be taking time off, right? Not working. And then you should take time off as well, not working. Yes, you'll get something if you work for a good company. You'll get something from the state in your company. It is not going to be 100% of your income. It's only going to be a fraction. A lot of times it's half. Sometimes I've seen it go up to 80. You know, if you work for Google, it might be 90 or 100. But for a lot of us, it's either not happening or it's like half of whatever pay you were going to get. And that is already going to begin the stress. So 6 months to a year of savings. I don't care how you do it. 1 job, 2 job, 3. If you have side hustles, boost those side hustles. Get that money in there. alleviates so much stress and so much capacity in your mental space, because now you can focus on your partner, focus on yourself, and focus on the baby. Also, if you're not doing it now, once you find out about the baby, grow a side hustle or something that could potentially be more passive while the baby is here. Because again, that baby is going to get sick. The baby is going to have doctor days, and you're going to need and want to be a part of it to know what's going on in your family and your child. You're going to have things come up, and the last thing you want to do is take off time work and then be stressed about it or not to have anything to back it up. So if you have 9 months or less, whatever, that is more than enough time to start something, whether it's an online business, whether it's a small, what is most popular? I know t-shirts kind of dead, but auto detailing, tinting, you have social media marketing, you have your own like photography or video to get into nowadays. You can run copy for people, you can run ads for people, you can do simple things, you can, whatever you're into, whatever your passion is, you can turn it into a small business. Even if you don't want it to grow, you want to keep it a hobby, at least a little bit. Even if it's just a couple $100s a month by that time, that helps. A couple $100s a month is all your things for the baby, right? And now you can still use the rest of your income for other things. No matter what it is, it's just going to alleviate so much for you. I know I spent a lot of time on that, but that's okay. Number one, and we'll have more videos on that too, of exactly what we did, what we're doing, and what we hope to do. And not only just us, but a bunch of other dads that we have, multimillionaire ones, ones that just are a trade job that grew their own business and where they're at now. Just like everything from bottom to the top, right? Because that is what matters. Number one. Choosing your partner or making sure you can have a child or family with said person. This is the most important thing, because this is your life. This is what makes or breaks the family aspect. This is what makes or breaks if you're gonna, even if you guys break up or some, worst case scenario, a good partnership, a healthier way to raise this child and into adulthood, and to save you time, money, and stress, everything in between. I feel like we have forgotten what morals are, what values are, and what you need to have a successful partnership. Now, yes, like there's always going to be times it's not ever going to be perfect, but even and more so than ever, we're just banging people and not having like any sort of thought of what if she gets pregnant and now I'm strapped to this forever, The core of a person is the most important, because you're going to run into challenges unless you're already rich, already have a bunch of things going on for you. The financial piece, you're going to run into that. The stress and anxiety of just having a kid and taking care of a child, and the wedge that kids put into relationships, that is going to happen no matter what. No matter how much money you do have, that is going to happen. No matter what, your child will become a wedge at some point, because you had time for yourselves before. You could either talk about things, work on things, you can go do things to get stress out, you can, whatever the case may be, but now you can't escape it. I mean, unless you're an absolute douchebag, you cannot escape it. And it only puts more pressure on the relationship. And then if things were to fall apart, or whatever the case may be, the type of person that you can go through it with, the type of person that you want to hopefully see for years to come, is she going to be a good mom? Is she going to be responsible? Is she going to be a person that communicates? Is she going to be a person that also grows after? Growth is huge. Is she going to be the type of person that takes accountability for her emotions and actions and what she says, or anything like that? Is the core there? What are those core values? That is the most, if I can, I almost get just crazy about it, because this is the most important piece. This person is going to be there day and night. This person is literally the mother of your child. This person is going to be with you hopefully forever. And if you want to have a family, if you want to have goals and they want to be hit, if you want to have a chance to have a prosperous family, a loving family, a happy family, then this is the important piece. There's so many. I mean, go on the internet and look now. Go on your Facebook and look right now of so many partners, women that just are narcissistic now. They are only care about, Instagram, OnlyFans, or everything else. They only care about them. They're not actually communicating their feelings of what they want. They just get pissy and have an attitudes and just whatever, it's his fault. They try to take the baby away from you. They try to, defame you into everyone in the family and friends and everything in between. They will try to come for your money. They will try to make you the villain and do everything they can to tear you down. So they will come for your happiness, your children, and your money and everything in between. Or you do your due diligence. Take time before having kids. Yes, get married first if you can. Even if you don't believe in marriage, dude, be with that person for multiple years. Go through adversity before having the kid. What does that look like? You don't want to force adversity on you, but if you haven't yet and you're just still in the honeymoon phase, it is not time to have a kid, because that honeymoon phase will be met with an eclipse and darkness and rain on your parade. And I know this is not positive, and I said we will be positive, but this is just realistic. Look at the world around you right now. Look at America. It is falling apart, and this is why. It's because people are not choosing their partners wisely, and they're blaming each other for it. They're not growing. They're not getting better. They're not making good decisions, and it's all coming out on the child itself, too. Your partner is everything. That is what makes or breaks the relationship. Do your due diligence. Now, what that looks like for you, that is going to be different. Everyone in between. I have some advice, and I also have gotten a little bit on me. I've been very fortunate, one, to have a dad and mom, but mainly my dad being able to sit me down and tell me everything, things he's done wrong, all the mistakes he's made, everything he's done, he could have done better. And he's shown me how to flip mistakes, or what he would look out for, or what he did wrong, and how to make it a positive or come out on the other side of it and grow from it. And he didn't hide any of those things, whether it's finances, whether it's, certain things in a relationship that didn't work out. Yes, my parents are divorced. Or any things that he's gone through, but also my job and profession for over, 12 years now has always been people facing. I've traveled different states. I've had a lot of either clients or customers, whatever the case may be, from other countries. I've, at this point, probably in the thousands of clients and customers that I get to talk to and deep dive into their life, their relationships, their parenting, and everything in between. So I have a lot of data on it, but also statistically, there's a lot of things we can talk about as well. And this all points to that partner. And where I would get my advice from, or what I tell you guys. It's not all anecdotal. It's not all just myself and my experience. It's thousands of people have experienced, cross-reference with my own, cross-reference with what we're seeing statistically. And I feel like that's the best way to kind of come up with some stuff, right? Anyway, to round this off, I've been going for a while. I didn't know this would be this long of an episode. But so your lady needs to be able to communicate. And I know, right? It's like all women talk about is communication. A lot of them don't even know what that means. So she can voice her emotions. She can, without an attitude or tone, talk to you about what's bothering her, what's going on. Take accountability for some things maybe she did wrong. Apologize. Be able to see the bigger picture. It'll never be perfect. Don't get me wrong. We are human. We have a lot of stuff wrong with us too as men, and with things we need to get better. But right now we're just talking about choosing your partner. So she needs to be able to do that. Maturity is huge. I don't know how many, not to be rude, I don't know how many times we impregnate a street hoe. I don't know a better way to put it. Just like, clearly she's made for the streets, and then you're making this mess, and it's kind of your fault, bro. Yes, a lower body count is fine, and I know I don't want to be that guy. We're not that channel, but yes, someone that is a little bit more grounded in reality and realistic about what that means, about connection and relationships. Does she need to know how to cook and clean? No, not necessarily. One, a lot of that stuff will just freaking happen when they become moms. A lot of the times, this whole new person comes out, this whole new gear comes out. They want it. They want things the way they want it. So you need to help out a lot with that. But I would say some general skills, people skills, home skills, whatever the case may be, and the ability to grow, and because no matter what, we change over time. It's either for the better or the worse. But you need a lady to be able to realize where or what area she has to get better, to grow, to become a better person, and to help not only you out, but to become a better mom and everything in between. That is so important. And then I would say the complex of the independent, strong woman is cool, but it is troublesome within the home. And why? Is because that's where they don't communicate. Right? Because I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't want to communicate things to you. I don't care to tell you. I'm going to deal with it myself. That's where resentment builds from. Also, it doesn't build a partnership if, like, both parties, like, men are independent naturally, yes, but it's in a different way. We don't mean it the way you guys mean it. We love our families. An average dude loves a family, loves to just be at home. They just want peace, an average guy. So same thing on the women's side. If they have that mentality and that boss bitch mentality, it comes off as arrogance and cocky, which is the same things we don't like in dudes either. Confidence is great. That's different than than cockiness and arrogance. Your ego is too big. You need to find that person or develop that person to say, hey, we're in this together. There is no, I'm independent, I'm doing this. We work as a team. We are a unit. You are mother, I am father. That is the way it's going to be the most smooth. You're going to have a lot of issues. Yes, you're going to have moments where you need your, space. I'm not saying you can't have space. We're going to have more in-depth conversations, but the mentality to hey, no, we are a unit. We are together in this. Decisions are made together. I will lead the best I can, but you are definitely going to be a huge unit together with me. We're not going to make decisions on our own, especially big ones when it comes to our child or our family. It takes a unit. It takes a village to run a family and a baby. This is very important. So you need to figure out what yourself is, the core of the person that you love. Now, everything outside of that, like your morals, virtues, anything outside of that is going to be personality driven, and that is just dependent on you, right? I can't tell you, what I like is going to be different than you like, but as long as the core is there, and this woman, regardless, is going to be trustworthy. Now, things can change post baby. A lot of things does, but if that core is still there, you can work through it. You can learn to love the new person that you have with you. It's going to be a huge thing. I promise you. It is a huge thing. So pick the person wisely. Okay. Because who you get pregnant, it is your fault. Now, yes, there's a lot of nuance to that. Just to add, I can already see comments yeah, well, what if she did this? What if she did that? And then the girls, well, what if he's like this? What if he's like that? Yeah, hey, there's nuance to all of this. It's just blanket, a few steps to things to think about. That's it. Don't be an idiot. Not everything's black and white. Fill in your own gray. Anyway, okay, to the next phase, top 5 things to do after that baby pops out. So you did it, you made it, you have a little nest, you have a little nest egg, you have some things going, you're all happy, the baby comes out. Woo! Okay, what do we do? So, number 5. Boundaries. So what does this mean? Not everything is going to be a boundary. Not everything is meant to be a boundary. It just means you need to put boundaries on yourself, and you need to put boundaries in a relationship and parenting. So what does that look like? It's going to be different with everyone. It just depends what's important to you. But I'll give you my boundaries and see if that resonates, or just it's an idea, right? It's just we'll call it hypothetical, but these are more or less mine. So boundaries. Again, decisions not made without me. Whether it comes to the child or the relationship or the house or whatever the case may be, we make decisions as a unit. We cross each other. Okay, we deal with things on the same team. Okay, even if we disagree, we do not disagree in front of the kids. We do not disagree in front of, I guess we can say that. We can healthily disagree in front of people, but we're not going to, and then I actually have had issues with the same thing. I need to get better at this, but this is still good for advice for myself. Not showing that you guys are attacking each other on separate sides in front of the kid. And reason is because that is not healthy for the kid. It's not healthy for you guys. And the kid's going to be like, well, I thought my mom and dad. Now the kid's going to pick sides, right? And that's the last thing you want to do is for your child to pick a side. If it's on mommy's side, daddy's resentful. Daddy goes get milk, never comes back. If it's on the dad's side, mommy's resentful. Mommy starts going to the mailman, and God forbid whatever happens after that. And those are caricatures, but it still happens. And little things like that, like whether it's tone, whether you guys put a system into place of, hey, every week, let's talk about what happened, or whatever the case may be. I know I'm not being that specific, but just set your own boundaries of how you want your relationship to run. And also, if you have me time or just anything to make you happy or still have a hobby, same thing with her. That can't be interrupted, and set those boundaries too. A little all over the place, but I think you got the gist. So number 4, stay physical. I had a hard time with this. Most people have a hard time with this, but you see it after people have kids. The wife blows up, the husband blows up. It's a mess. Everyone's unhealthy. Everyone is mad. Everyone's so. The reason why staying healthy and physical is important. 1, you're already not going to get great sleep, right? Baby's up every 2 hours, and unless you have the best blessed baby ever, you're going to be up all the time, already having bad sleep. You're already going to be run down at work. You're already going to be tired and probably not eating the best because you just get wiped out. So your longevity, take care of your health. You want to be there to see your kid grow up. 2, you want to be involved with your child, especially as a dad. Now, yes, moms are too, but especially as a dad, we thrive on doing whatever is sports or activities, or just when we finally can grow that bond, doing activities with your kid, you want to be able to do it, right? When they run out into the yard and you can't, I promise you, it takes a toll on the kid and you. It does. No matter what, you will be left out of a lot of things because you can't keep up. And teach good habits to your child. Like, I know we're in the whole phase of body positivity and like all this shit. First of all, you can love yourself in the healthy way. And I'm not saying you need to be skinny and have a 6-pack but you at least need to be healthy enough to where you're not having health scares, where you can go on a hike with your family or something and you are out of breath, where you can get up the stairs to chase your child and you're not dying. But also, there will be times where you need quick reflexes too. There will be times where you're going to have health scares and other matters, and you need to be able to tackle that stuff. But also all these good things you want in your kid. You want them to be physical. You want them to eat better. You want the best for them. And if you don't, then I'm sorry, I'm going to call you out. You're a terrible dad. You're a terrible parent. If your child is having a hard time moving, or they're just sitting there and then you're already setting them up for failure for life in their health, then I'm sorry, that is bad. That is terrible parenting. You should want better for your child than yourself. But in this case, it helps a whole lot to be physical, to be there and present with your kid. It helps you with being present with them. It helps your longevity. You're going to sleep better. You're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy for your child if you just stay physical and eat better things, like game-changing things when especially being a dad, but being a parent, when you have the capacity and energy and will to do more things with them and can. I can't stress enough. Anyway, moving on. Understanding your partner now. So you did a lot of research the first half, right? Now you need to understand these changes and understand what's going on. So there's a thing called postpartum depression. There's a thing called hormone changes. There's a thing that they change, right? Now it's all about baby. There's a whole new love type that they have that they didn't have before. There's a whole new anxiety path that they have that they didn't have before. There's a lot that goes into it. And the more we understand, the better we can to deal with it, not only for ourselves, but for our partner. Because I'm going to tell you what happens here. One, I went through this. So many men go through this. Your partner's different. They're not the person you fell in love with. They're not the person you wanted to have a kid with. They're a whole different being, and you have no idea who they are anymore. And now you take offense to it. You feel like you lost yourself, your partner, and now there's this baby that won't stop crying, that won't stop needing things, and you don't have time to even process what's going on. Now she has no time for you. You have no time for anything else because now there's a baby, and now you're just alone. You're isolated. You're mad at the world. You hate your job. Now you don't have anyone to talk to. You lost your partner, and it's just baby. And now that resentment can come into the child, goes into your relationship. The more you understand these changes and what happens with your partner and this baby, the more you can keep yourself mentally okay and stable and deal with it and understand the ebbs and flows within this new relationship and the growth that you guys can have with each other. It's so important because when you can battle that, well, now you know how to help her better. Well, now you know how to make her feel better. Well, now you know how to give her a meaningful break where she starts to have that spark and love for you and realizes that, oh, it's not just a baby, it's you too. And you can have healthy conversations about it. And then when you know how to prepare and deal with some of the things you're going to come with the baby, well, now you're more okay. Now you can still be happy and do things you love and love your baby and love your partner. Understand these changes. Research, especially postpartum depression, they don't even know what's happening half the time. And if you know that, you have less resentment. You have less of everything. Right? It helps. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to go smoothly, but you can grow and get out of it and be prosperous. And so the trust and love that comes out of the other side, because you were there, because you were a man, because you stepped up, because you understood, you equipped yourself with everything you needed to deal with these situations, and the core of that woman is still there now, that core comes back out. Crazy. Okay, number 2, we talked about it a little bit. It is you time. Oh my God, bro! If you're a gamer, if you play basketball, if you do whatever sport, if you go hiking, if you do any other things. For me personally, I love MMA and martial arts. I love to be physical. I love to do all that stuff. But I also am a giant nerd. I like video games. I collect cards. I do a bunch of nerd stuff. I read, watch anime, read manga. So all of the things I love. And I still need to do because it's really hard to. It is. Be honest. It's hard to. And you will feel guilty too because you're going to see your partner stressed out and not in the best of spirits a lot of the times because of the baby. Is it right for me to do any of this? Yes. And here's why. 1, plan it out. Don't do it in the midst of randomly, you're like, oh, well, I need to go play basketball. No, well, I need to go to... No, don't do that. They're just going to cause a fight. They're going to cause resentment. No, plan it out. This is where boundaries come in. This is where communication comes in. Hey, unless otherwise, right? Unless the baby is that crazy. Unless the baby is so nuts or you're so down, into the depths of the nether realm... from everything. I'm going to play this video game at this time most days or on the weekend. I'm going to read this. I'm going to go get physical. Why? Why? It puts you in a better space. You have a little piece of you that was before the baby. And now it might not seem like a lot, but it is. Because without it, that's when you really start to lose your mind. You really start to have resentment toward yourself and others. I know we're talking about resentment a lot, but it happens more often than not. When you give yourself that time, you have more capacity. Now you want to go help because had a good basketball game. Yeah, I'm tired, but man, those endorphins are good. Oh, it's awesome. I'm going to go home and I'm going to just love on if you don't do that, then you suck. But I'm going to go love on the wife. I'm going to go love on the baby. I want to go see what I can do. She let me go out and do this. It's my time to return the favor. And you're going to be more glad to do those things. I promise. And she also needs to do the same thing. You need to grant time for her to have breaks. Now, it's going to be tug of war. You're going to be like, stop, sit down, stop cleaning, stop playing with the baby, stop doing whatever the heck you're doing, stop thinking about all the things. They're not going to, but you're going to have to force them like, no, get your ass out of the house, go get your nails done, go get your hair done, go see your girlfriend, go have freaking brunch, go get drunk, unless you're breastfeeding. Go do something to break away. And because they need it, honestly, sometimes even more than we do sometimes, she needs her time. The more time she gets, and the more she feels like she's also her old self, the more she's going to love you, and the more she was going to have capacity for other things. Now, if this doesn't happen, we're going to get more in depth in other, things later. But if this doesn't happen, then, communication and things need to change. That's where boundaries comes in as well. But you still need to have time for both sides, regardless. Mental aptitude is what I put of what you need post. We talked about it a lot already. But this is everything. Business, you're going to be stressed out about. Work, you're going to be stressed out about. Your partner, all these changes, everything's going on with her. You have no idea what to do. You're going to be lost. You're going to be stressed out about it. You're going to have anxiety about it. The baby, if you're not stressed out about the baby or wondering if you're doing a good job, then you need to question yourself. And there's going to be times you will almost break, especially because actually mental aptitude and community, that's number one. Community is huge. You need to talk to other men. You need to talk to other dads. You need to have a community. And men in general, we can be isolated, but we always need a tribe, bruh. Like we just do. Even if you are the introvert gamer, you go online, what do? You have your party. You have the people you talk to all the time online. You have your tribe. We need the same thing, especially as dads. We don't have the TV shows. We don't have the media on our side. We don't have these groups. When we post something on the internet, we don't have a million likes and people to be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I hope you can get better, it's okay, you're so strong. We don't have that shit. We have only each other, and we're not that outward with most things. So to be able to, one, get out your frustrations, whether it's physical, whether it's, talking to one of your bros, another dad, whether it's going to hike, whatever the case may be, you need that. But you need to have a community. You need to have support, because the moment you isolate yourself and the moment you let your mind spiral down, you are lost, you are gone. And that is why we end up killing ourselves most of the time. It's because of work stress, financial stress. Your wife doesn't love you anymore. She doesn't have sex with you anymore. And your kids are growing up and they barely have time for you. And it almost feels like no matter what you do, you can't win. No matter what you do, it doesn't change anything. No matter how hard you work or how much you love, no one cares, which is a lot of the time. No one really does, which is why you have to prepare yourself and work on your mental state and have a good community, which is what we want to bring here on Big Dad Energy. Let us know, comments down below, Big Dad Energy or Bigger Dad Energy. Let us know. But anyway, we want to build that community, for dads to have a place to go.